Brian Ritsuno here. Today I wanted to share with you about which one we should choose, like speed or efficiency. So we are every single day like we are really struggle with this notion whether we like it or not, right? Get things done fast or get it right, basically. So which one we should really focus on? If somebody's doing really right, but then it's slow, it's very frustrating, right? But then if you do really fast, but then the result is just a mess, it doesn't do any good. It takes more times to fix the problem that caused by mistakes that you make or we make, right? So, yeah, we really, in a way, in this balance between the speed and efficiency, how we are actually the navigate these two. So there is a notion, the famous saying, like slow and steady wins the race. I was I heard this principle and I tried to uh, go with that, and it's very important because I tried to do it too fast, and the result was quite mess. It's more like impulsive behavior, so things are not really progressing that in a depth or in a scope. When I incorporated this like a principle of slow and steady wins the race, it improved for me. But then at a certain stage, it stopped working, uh, and I wanted to explain why this is the issue. So this kind of slow and steady really works when you're thinking about 5 to 10 years or a few years span of how your life should progress in terms of your skill development. Because sometimes, like let's say if you're working for some company or trying to learn master one subject like mathematics or even piano, sports, whatever they are, you cannot just learn everything in a few months. It takes years. So in the meantime, you don't want to be too impatient. Otherwise, you're gonna quit because you have an unrealistic expectation of the result. And for me, that was the problem, really. When I try to maximize the speed, I just wanted to get to the things and I get disappointed, and then I quit, and then do something else, and it just when things get difficult, quit and then do something else. It feels like something was in motion, but then eventually, after like let's say 5 years, 10 years later, when you realize you haven't really learned much because everything was like not in depth. It's everything was not, and then it's all disconnected. And then now one skill was fully developed because it I didn't spend enough time on each. Didn't do it slow and steady. So so I kind of revert back to a little, take it easy and slow and things of nature. But then this one also has a problem. The problem is like when you're in school or something, you're forced to actually do a lot of things, right? Like learn a different subject. So you kind of keep going, and you're forced to almost keep going. And that time, like, there's a midterm, there's a quiz, there's a final. It's a set schedule. So you have to force yourself to match that. So you do your best within the time frame. So as long as you can manage what you do within that time frame, you actually move forward quite well. The problem is once you get outside of the academia, and once you have certain type of job, time starts running very fast. Means it's like when you're a kid, like you feel like a year is like super long, but then as you grow older, it gets faster and faster. It's because what I realize is it's because we don't really set the deadline to what we do. By default, humans kind of take it easy, right? Kind of slack off in a sense. It's like, okay, nobody's really judging your progress or grading per se, like whatever you learn or whatever you're trying to do. You can push back further and further when you get things done. So unlike the school system, like you gotta finish certain subject by this, and then people are gonna grade you. You can just postpone. So and postpone something that you shouldn't have postponed or unnecessarily postponed just because you wanna make it your satisfaction, right? Because you're the one have to be satisfied to go next level. So within the same time of frame, people tends to get not accomplish much. That's the issue. Nobody's watching. Nobody's like, as I said, checking. And with your own accord, you are most likely, I would say majority of people would revert back to this, the more like a taking it easy, relax, and then doing the same kind of things, kind of let the life just flows by, right? So that's really the risk. So once you get out of, and not even once, like as long as you can manage your whatever you do in certain realistic quality, or like quality to bring it forward. It's far better to put the speed as far more priority than efficiency. It's like you are getting things done no matter what, like, and then put the self deadline that you have to really follow through. I think people who can do this or not would make enormous difference that eventually one who doesn't do this, like putting the speed in as a priority, can never catch up with people who does. So the question we may have is like, so how much quality that we really need to have, right? Like, okay, fast, get it out, piece of shit, doesn't work, or broken, whatever. I think the best way to think is within the time frame. Do as much as you can and then be presentable, but then not perfect. We all we gotta understand that we cannot possibly put any perfect things for the first try. And then we gotta have this notion of iterative thinking. Means it's like iterative way. Means it's like to get to the perfection, we gotta go through many steps of the product or services or things that are what you do. And you're not gonna wait till 100 iteration to put it forward. As long as it works in a satisfactory manner, means it's like people might buy, or people might say, "Oh, that's something that are pretty cool. I learned something," or whatever that is. Just put it out there, and then keep iterating. Make it better next time. Make it better next time. That's the best strategy. Just like you go out, like you're in the ocean, and then you just kind of keep going. You prepare a little bit, and nice, get some knowledge. Just get out, go explore and adventure. And since you are already prepared for all this like water system, how to collect water from the probably rainwater, or all these tools you have, or like a fishing or whatever, you can survive, and you can keep going, and then maybe you can find some island, and and then maybe catch something, but then you got to keep exploring, and that's the point. You got to figure it out as you go along. And some people might say, like, okay, I don't want to go too fast. I don't want to like hustle that much, right? But then if you don't want to hustle that much, then that's the more so you want to do the speed. It's just because the world is very competitive. Not in a sense like people are trying to compete. It's just naturally that's what happens, because we have a lot of people here, right? So the more you focus on is speed, you're gonna get these things called first mover advantage. It means it's like you are the one of the earliest, so there is not much competition. So even you have like a really like a little bit of knowledge, you're the number one or top guy, right? Because if you have only one guy in the field, you're already the top guy, no matter what the knowledge you have. If two guys, even if you're the last one, you are at least the second, that type of things. And so there's a lot of benefit you can have, and it's always important that whatever you do, if you don't want to like struggle in the future, within your circle of confidence of the region, you want to be the top guy. There is a reason to it. It's a Pareto distribution mechanism, that the top guy will get the most reward, and that's where you want to be at. And the speed will really help you get there, right? Yeah, just like in any kind of race, like earlier you start, and the earlier you can just keep going, fast, then most likely that person's gonna win, right? Now, people, you might think, okay, so I can do this. like make it fast. I get up, I do things fast, get it done, and then move on and get it done. Okay, I can do that. But when can I stop? When can I relax? It's better not to think you're gonna be able to relax. Just because a lot of corporation, let's just say like a big one, like a Kodak or IBM or that type of things got taken over by, like, let's say Google or Facebook or that type of things, just because they get really big and they're successful. However, they kind of chilled, right? Like sitting on the laurel, so to speak. And if you do this, the problem is, like, world changes quite rapidly, and when things get, it's like a churning, and then if you're not fast to adapt, then you're gonna be left behind, because at the time will just pass, and then people who do it fast will go faster and faster, because of first mover advantage that I talked to you about, or it's called network effect. It means just like once people start buying into your product, the more people join in, your things get more and more valuable. And then even though you after a while you try to catch up, like a party is already going on right there, so nobody's trying to come to you if something is not particularly different. So but then the world is not like, okay, if you think like always trying to be fast, like you have no time to relax. That's not the world works. And it's just your mindset should be that, like, really taking care of your time, how you spend your time, and then get this done as soon as possible. So I think in the Bible, or just the saying is like, you finish something you can do today, you finish today, and then let the next day worry about it. So just think some project what you're doing, like some sort of a set of things. Ask yourself, can you do it today? Can you finish today? If somebody is asking, like, let's say, oh, it's going to take like 5 months, can I do it with 3 months? Can I do it with why it take 3 months? Just think about it like this. Can I just do it in, let's say, 30 days? Maybe you're going to come up with some kind of ingenious idea to solve the problem in a lot of short time, that then you might create some interesting way to solve things, and it could be a big ideas, or the edge you have to win. So some people might kind of confuse this as not confused, but how about the, like, kind of, does this means like speed means like a kind of following the trends, like kind of adapting? Is that what it is, right? But the thing of the trend as like as a kind of the wave, some trend is like really small, or the kind of seemingly it's big, but then it's kind of like disappears, right? And it depends on what kind of industry or business you want to do. Some industry you require to actually, it's best strategy to just ride on the little waves, whatever comes your way. Especially like a fashion or entertainment, right? Because people's things changes, so you might want to adapt to it. But then, or sometimes like a technology or things of the technology is probably right around in the middle. Some are kind of the fake trend, but then some are super big, and you want to actually ride it, and it's gonna last like 5 or 10 years or something like that, or it could be decades. And the early people who can actually ride the wave becomes enormously wealthy, and so forth. So, or like if you have like more like the restaurant business, or something more kind of traditional, people's taste buds doesn't change, like a sweet business, right? Like a candies or ice cream. That type of business is, you probably don't need to really follow that much trends. So it really depends on what your interest and what your goals are. And then if you're in a certain type of business, then you don't want to follow to follow like a wrong type of trends. Otherwise, you're gonna have no time to really sit down and then think. You're kind of like chasing around, and you don't have that long-term strategy. And then a lot of times, people get burned or lose all money by just blindly following the trends. That trend just doesn't really have that long-term benefit. It's more like kind of go up and then it crush, and then everybody get crushed. Like maybe the early guys, possibly a lot of scammers, kind of pump things up, and then they sell it, and everybody else die. Happens quite a lot of times. So just speed doesn't really necessarily always good. It has to have a certain type of strategy and a discernment to see this trend you should actually jump in or not. You really have to think each time. So how much like efficiency that really matters? If you actually do a lot of speed and then doing the right way, efficiency will come naturally, just because you're trying to improve, right? In whatever the reason. But the important thing about this is, to be efficient, you have to actually pick the right type of priorities. You can't possibly fix everything. So, pick the ones, like critical ones, just spend all the time on it, right? And then take care of the non-critical ones, something that you can wait, just wait. Otherwise, like a speed will kill whatever you do. Just because like you will do like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that, and the whole thing. And a lot of people who has that thing and get really successful is an excellent delegator. Like find the best people to just do, and then you will be more like a general. You let you give some kind of instructions. But then the people who do are the one that do all things with the speed that you want. And so, is there things called like a too fast? Yeah, there's things called too fast, right? Like if the quality of what you do is unacceptable, it's like a kind of write it down, like whatever the answer, and then give it to people, and then people don't get it. It's like, what is this, And then you say, oh, I just wrote it down with a few sentences, or, service, oh, I just wiped it, or whatever. And then it's really dirty, or half-ass, basically, half-ass result. So, yeah, speed itself is not really per se it's good. It's almost like a speed, and you got to really think about it. Speed and then like how much you get out of it. So for me, like sometimes like people like read fast, but then to me it's like, I mean, for the sake of reading is to really understand. So if you don't understand of the nuance of criticality, what's really the point? Nobody cares. Like you read like 100 books if you don't understand any of this, like in the depth, and then unusable, right? Yeah, books idea is only usable if you can actually do something with it. Like, you don't want to be just a guy that you know educating and but then can't really do much in real life. So yeah, speed. I mean, take your time in a sense. Take your time in a sense, but make sure that they have some sort of like deadline. Otherwise, human default is always not have that urgency. Just kind of slack off, right? So have that urgency, like a speed will give that urgency. Whatever it is, let's say today, think of it. I thought I'm gonna do this project by a couple of days. Why not just do it today then? See how actually you can do. So, in essence, like prioritizing the speed over efficiency, you're aligned with the idea that the time is the most precious commodity, and which it is, and then you will know that you're gonna get too fast. That's when you start making too much mistakes, and then that costs you more, like to fix it. Like you fix it, and then you actually spend more time doing it. Then you go too fast. Then you actually understand like how fast actually you can go. But then push it yourself to that level as much as you can, and then it's not gonna be that exhausting as you think. It is more exhausting if you don't do anything. It's gonna be a really really boring life, right? I mean, bored is like one of the most painful things in this world. And then you all have a plenty of time to relax, and because you get it done fast as well, and then you feel good because you get it done, and yeah, speed. It's a things that really people overlook on, but it's really critical. We don't have much time on Earth, and we got to do it fast. Hi, thank you for watching. Please write down your idea in the comment section below to help each other. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe and hit bell button to be notified a new video. See you next time.